Today we're gonna talk about energy. Energy, the energy that people portray, the energy that you read or feel off of people, the energy that you can't even see that maybe your children are experiencing, maybe your significant other is experiencing this energy. You can't see it, you can't feel it, but they experienced it. We have to pay attention to those energies because we may be thinking everything is all good when it isn't. I remember my youngest kid, we was putting him in a different school, and he went to the school, private school, Christian school, and he said some things at that school when he was taking his entrance exam that he had never said before, and it had the school looking at us like, hey, we don't really condone this kind of behavior. Now, at first, I was disappointed. I felt embarrassed, and then he did decent on his entrance exam, and they'd say, okay, he can come back and retake it. And it was in the moment that he went back to retake that exam that myself, my wife realized that even though this is what we want for our kid, and this is supposedly a better situation than the public school system that he's zoned for, he's telling us, even though he don't understand it, he's telling us this ain't it. Just through his body language, just through what he was saying. I didn't pick up on that energy immediately. We didn't pick up on that energy immediately. But as time progressed, because this is what we really wanted for him, it was shown to us and the evidence was made very clear that this ain't where he's supposed to be. And he ended up at another school with no issues. Different energy from the time that we walked in. His energy was totally different. We didn't have to schedule the exam, the entrance exam, just to see where he's placed at, make sure he's on par for where he's supposed to be for his grade level. He was so comfortable, he did something that he never done before. Just like in the other school, he said some things that he never said before. He they said, hey, we could do the exam right now if y'all have the time. And he was like, yeah, I'm good. We could take the exam. And I want to say it's maybe like an hour long exam. But, we left him at the school. We left our phone numbers, our cell phone numbers. School, literally right around the corner from my house. So it wasn't like it was a far drive. We'd be far away. And we both got in the truck and we talked and it was like, he's never done that before. I feel good about this. We feel good about this. And he's gotten to that school and he's thrived. I'm sure he had some learning pains of, on the discipline spectrum because they want you to be a certain way and be dressed a certain way and shirt tucked in. So he had to learn some of those things. But the energy in this particular school has benefited him, graciously. He's been thriving. He's even when he's going to miss some time from school because we got travel arrangements that we have to meet, obligations that interfere with school at sometimes. He'll take his test early for the following week for the days that he's going to miss, and he does well. We have to be able to understand these energies. Sometimes it comes through our children in ways that embarrass us, but they're being exposed to a level of energy they don't understand and they don't really have the recollection of. But we have to be able to read it as parents. Same for my youngest kid. He used to display, my oldest kid, he used to display a lot of different energies in different situations. And we saw it as negative. But when these children can't really communicate what they're dealing with and what they're feeling, we see it as, bad behavior because that's what they put out. But that's not necessarily the case all the time. They trying to tell you something that they don't know how to tell you, but you got to be able to pick up on that energy. Same in relationships, same in friendships, same in business. You got to be able to pick up on that energy. You got to have good energy flowing. The negative energy is going to tell you what's needed. I remember the first time I met my wife's uncle. We vibing like we know each other our whole lives. My wife looking at me like, you don't never do this because normally I come around and I don't say anything. I don't really speak. I'm quiet. I survey, take observation, but I'm silent. But we was vibing. And I was like, yeah, the energy is there. If you got good energy, you can vibe. You got good energy, you could really build and compound on that and really get to know people. But it all starts with good energy. And even bad energy, you got to be able to understand that, okay, it's time for me to distance myself from certain people or certain businesses or certain situations because the energy isn't there. It's not positive. It's a lot of negative. It's a lot of chaos. The importance of energy and whatever you're dealing with, don't misread it. And if you can't read it, you got to be able to recall that experience and think about it just to analyze it, to see if you're wrong or see if you misjudge the situation or a person. But truthfully, a lot of times we'll have all of the signs that we need, but we choose not to see them because it's what we want. That's crazy, ain't it? We'll have all the signs that we need, but we choose not to see it because it ain't what we want. And we don't understand that this situation is showing us and giving us the energy that this ain't it. But we choose to disregard it because we really want it so bad. Energy is a powerful thing. Being able to read people is a powerful thing. Being able to tell when somebody on some bull, that's a powerful thing. You may meet someone today, you may meet someone tomorrow, and they talk such a good game, but your level of knowledge and wisdom, you hear nothing but bull. They may convince others around you, they may convince others close to you, but you ain't buying into it. All come back to energy. It'll come through your children, it'll come through your spouse. You gotta be able to take it in, digest it. People see what others can't feel or see. And when someone comes to you and tells you, you gotta be willing to hear them. You can't be stubborn and bullheaded. And I say this from experience because at a point in my life, I was stubborn and bullheaded. There were things that people would bring to me in regards to energy that I couldn't see. But once I see it, once I started to recognize what they were saying, I had to begin to react to it. Now I gotta test this theory. Now I gotta cut certain people off. Now I gotta limit my exposure to certain people just to see what happens. And depending on those circumstances, things can get better for you. Hopefully they do. All because those energies that you couldn't see, you couldn't feel, but others saw it. They brought it to your attention. But you ain't really know how to respond to it. Now you know how to respond to it and you see the benefit on the tail end of it. You see the benefit that when I take myself or I take a person out of an equation and go about my life, what has changed? Are things more positive? Am I still dealing with negativity? Being able to read people and have people around you that can read people, that's significant. That's important. Energy is a powerful thing. I mean, think about it like this. We've all experienced a lightning storm, a thunderstorm. Think about if that energy was put into a bottle. How long can that bottle withstand that amount of energy? And there's nothing necessarily positive about a lightning storm or a thunderstorm. We've seen trees get struck by lightning. We've seen homes get struck by lightning, vehicles be struck by lightning. We've heard stories of this, same thing of all of these vehicles and homes being struck by lightning, forest fires being started by lightning. We've all heard it. We've all experienced it. We've all seen it. It's energy. It's energy. Some of it good, some of it bad, but you have to be able to see what's going on around you, or again have people around you that can see this level of energy that you're dealing with, even if you don't see it, even if you don't feel it. And truthfully, depending on who we talking about, as you think about this discussion, and you ask yourself the questions, who around you is giving you negative energy that you're aware of, that you're not aware of, and you gotta cut them off, put some distance between you and them. What's the benefit to you? When we think about it full circle, that's what it is. We have to take in that energy. We have to be able to decipher the good energy, the bad energy, and see what life brings us when we distance ourselves away from things. Most people, the people you was running with in high school, you still running with them? Are you? The people that wasn't really on nothing, wasn't really doing nothing, really wasn't trying to grow, wasn't trying to gain, you still running with them? I'm not knocking nobody for their habits or what they do. I'm simply saying we do it naturally, especially when we in high school and we graduate. We all go different directions. You may still talk to them. You may still see them from time to time, but you moving in a different direction. They may see it, you see it, but the energy is different between y'all. If you still doing what you was doing in high school and it really ain't paying dividends for you, and now you look up, you're 40 years old, that's bad energy. I graduated high school in 2005. It's 2026. That's what, 21 years ago? Some of the guys I was running with in high school, I haven't seen or talked to since. Some of them I may have talked to. We may have communicated through social media. We may have spoken on the phone. It's all love. We just in different spaces. I respect their space. They respect mine. I talked to one guy I was running with in high school maybe a year ago. And, it's been 20 years since we talked. I'm like, nah, I don't live in South Carolina no more. Like, what? I'm like, yeah. They don't live in South Carolina no more either, but I don't live there no more. Damn, okay. I'm married now. Damn, how long you been married? Shit. That time, 12 years. I got a kid now. I got kids now. The energy was great. The exchange of energy between us was great. We just understood that we in different spaces. And we have to look at that and respect it for what it is. I don't fault him for his space or his direction or what life gave him because, he made his decisions. Same with a group of other people. They made their decisions. If you want better in life, you put better things into the atmosphere. You put better things into the universe. But it's not for everyone. Everyone is not going to travel the same road. The roads are going to be different. The paths are going to be different. Whatever obstacles you meet on your direction in life is going to be different. But the one thing that's going to be constant is whether you got good energy or bad energy that you keep facing head on. And if you got a lot of bad energy that you keep running into, you may need to change your direction so you can find some positive. That's all. Just open your mind up to it. Just think about it. You don't have to necessarily sit back and think, oh, this is my partner from school or we grew up together. I can't turn my back on them. Sometimes people turn their backs on you intentionally. You can't force something to pop that ain't gonna pop because they don't want it to. If they still good with drinking all day, smoking all day, not really working a job, hustling, whatever the case is, and you distance yourself from them, what did you lose? You ain't lose nothing. You may value that friendship more than their circumstances, but you ain't lose nothing. If anything, it's gonna hold you back. Now you're gonna feel obligated. Now you're gonna feel obligated. Why you feeling obligated to situations with bad energy? When your energy is where it need to be, you move in a different manner. It's no different than most people know someone at some point in time that has been in prison for a period of time. And a lot of times they'll call you and say, hey man, can you put some money on my books? Could you do this? Could you do that? And that's cool to a degree. I ain't knocking nobody to do it. That's cool to a degree. But at some point, you going to wake up and be like, damn, man, you're not there because of me. You're not sitting there because you protecting me and my freedom because you saw that I was going to blossom and bloom. You there for your decisions. So why is it my problem? Same with people in their bills. You got people that'll go get a car, they qualify for the financing. They know they shouldn't have bought it. Now they need help with the bill. They ask you for a few dollars. Let me borrow this, let me borrow that. You may do it once or twice, but then you look up like, look, what are we doing here? You either need to turn that back in or find another job or start a business on the side of what you already doing to make up that loss because this ain't my problem. This all comes back and ties back into energy. People will see you doing well. That's good energy. But they also gonna see how can they benefit from it. Cause the truth of the matter is when you're doing bad, you got a lot of bad energy around you. You can't find people. Ask the people who don't got money, who don't have resources. They don't have a lot of friends. They have people around that gonna use them, utilize them. They don't have a lot of friends. But when you're doing well, you got good energy around you, you making good money, it's gonna be a lot of people that's, hey man, you think you can help me out with XYZ? You gotta read these energies. Because when they don't change the behaviors of what got them there, they still gonna display the negative energy that got them there. We have to understand it. We have to see it. We have to look at it. Full circle. Sometimes you have to distance yourself from the bad energy. You have to take on the advice of people that love you, people that really care about you, that's telling you about people around you with bad energy. You have to listen to that. But sometimes we disregard it. Man, you just hating. That's my partner. That's my sister. That's my brother. When they got your best interest at heart. And of course, the person with the bad energy don't want the person with the good energy or the people that see the bad energy to bring it to the forefront, say, man, I see this, I see that. They don't want that. They want silence. People don't want to change. People want to stay where they at, not necessarily stuck, but they want to stay where they at and not change. They want all this energy around them, good and bad, but what can they benefit from? I'm in a place in my life, and I hope that you are too, where you distance yourself from bad energy, where you distance yourself from nonsense and chaos. When I turned 40, it was like a light switch, this level of peace. Like, I don't want no drama around me. I just want peace. There ain't nothing you can do for me or bring to me that's going to get my attention unless it's peaceful. Some things don't have to be said. I got a text message a few months ago. Hey, man, could you send me a few dollars? I looked at it and I was like, didn't even respond to it. Now, some may say, well, it's bad energy. You should have at least respond to it to stop that energy from coming your direction. Like, nah, no response is a response. No response is a response. Like, I help people when they're trying to do better for themselves. I aid people when they're trying to do better for themselves. But if you're stuck in a situation where you really can't do much, there's no need me sending my positive energy your direction. Because all I want is good energy coming my direction. But sometimes we don't see it as such. Again, when you're helping people with their bills, you're getting bad energy in return. And sometimes that's a magnet, because a lot may follow that. It may be a lot more people that prey on your good heart, your good energy, bringing you all this bad energy. We have to look at everything full circle and understand that just because it's coming from somebody you may love, somebody you may care about, just because it's coming from those directions don't necessarily mean it's good energy. It ain't necessarily good. My challenge to you today is to surround yourself with good energy and positive people. All of the negative stuff, just leave it be. If you at work right now, you get to work and you having a pre-shift meeting or you meeting with your shift, whatever the case is, and there's some bad energy, excuse yourself from the room. You don't necessarily have to speak on why you leaving the room, but just excuse yourself from the room. If you ain't in a position to hear that negative stuff, excuse yourself. Celebrate the positive. Excuse yourself from the negative. That's how I feel. That's where I'm at. I challenge you to get there too. Good energy. Attract good energy. That's my challenge for all that's listening. Attract good energy.